Hopefully you've done step one where you got to see what we're designing. In this project, we're really going to be working with the tools, the drawing tools. There will not be much animation, as you'll see, because the drawing tools are not like using Photoshop or high-end. They're more of a low-end, but you can do a lot with them. So here we go. The book on page 44 in the 2019 says, you want to change the width, to 200. Make sure it says HTML5. We create. Now, again, we want to introduce to some tools. There's the rectangle. It says the rectangle tool you'll see up there, and this says the oval tool. To the side, right-hand lower corner of the triangle tool, you'll see that it doesn't show up on my screen. It shows up here. There's a rectangle primitive tool because it goes off the video. We do not want the primitive tool, and we do not want the oval primitive tool. No, 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 no. You see the icon's different. We want the oval tools. Okay? And I'm going to zoom in here so you can see me work. Again, there's not going to be a lot of animation in this project. What we're doing is drawing mostly. We want to make sure that our colors are set up correctly. As you notice, I've already preset that just because of time. You can just come in right here and change the numbers. It seems to be pretty easy. We did it in the last chapter. What I'm going to do first is draw the rectangle. And, you know, don't freak out about being an artist. It needs to be, excuse me, taller than it is wide. There we go. We're going to change the size right now anyhow. So by picking the select tool, you can come right over here, select it. If I'm going too fast, you can slow this video down by going to the little sprocket in the lower corner and slow it down or pause it and catch up or repeat or just go back a little bit. So all I did is the selection tool, I selected it, and they want the width to be a certain size, 130 by 150. Okay, so now we've got everything adjusted. So I'm going to select deselect. You see it goes back to normal. I'm going to get the oval tool. We're going to make two ovals, one across the top and one across the bottom. You don't want to start up here to the top because your oval will go off. It has to be on the orange. So I'm going to go right about here. We're making that coffee cup. So that's about right. And then I'm going to come right about down here. You know, I'm just eyeballing it. You don't have to be perfect. There we go. We have our top and our bottom of our coffee cup. Now we're going to get our selection tool. Click here. You see how it changed the color? That's what's selected. I can delete those. Well, how do I get rid of the lines or the fills? Click on each individual one. And here you go. I get it, it's kind of primitive, but this is a very powerful tool. Okay, so there's that so far. Now we're going to come over here and we're going to select the freeform tool and we're going to select the whole object. Now we got to hold a special key down. We got to hold our Control-Shift key down. If you're on an Apple or a Mac, look at page 49. I'm not sure what it is, something with a command. And I'm going to make it elongated to look more like a coffee cup. Okay, oops, I let it go too early. A little bit more. I'm going to widen the top a little bit, maybe even bring the top down. There we go. There's my version of a coffee cup. Okay, from here, we're going to select, with the select tool now, the top arc and the bottom arc of the lip. So see how they just change colors. That tells you right there that, hey, we're doing something. I'm going to copy it, and then I'm going to paste it in place. Boom. Don't click anything. You go right to the transform tool, and you notice that because it was activated, we can decrease it by 10%. That's more than 10%. Say here, then I'll go in the middle and I'll drop it in a little bit. There we go. Don't deselect, because we're still going to mess with it, okay? I know my cup looks a little different than the textbook. Don't make fun of me. I'm trying. Okay. Now, we are going to copy, and we are going to paste it in place again, and we're going to move it down a little bit. Gosh darn it. Let me do that again. I'm just going to copy and paste it. See how that works. There we go. That's a little better for me. Undo. There we go. And I'll use my arrow because the paste in place for me did not work well. It's a matter of making the tools work for you because it kept taking the colors. So I'm going to scroll it down. So what it's going to look like is that's the inside, and you'll see here. I'm going to go up to my select tool, and I'm going to get rid of certain parts, like that part, and that part, and that part, and that part, and one more part to get rid of. Okay, I'm making my coffee cup. I'm getting there. Now also what I want to do is I want to get rid of this bottom arc because you can't see through a coffee cup. Now with this select tool, you're going to go close to this edge right here. Okay, see how that little arc comes on the bottom of the arrow pointer? Click on it and just bring it out a little bit. Same with this side. You get there and you're like, oh, there it is. Bring it out just a little bit. We're now making a coffee cup. Okay. We got to fill it. This little area should have coffee in it. So we're going to come over here, get our fill tool, get everything set up because the book says we want the fill color to be 330000. Here comes the fun part. I'm going to come right in here, spill the little paint bucket in that, not where the arrow is. Oops, sorry. Maybe where the arrow is. We have coffee in our little cup so far. Okay, so now we're cooking here. We've got to do some steps on 51 where it talks about adding some gradients to this. So if you look with my selection tool, I'm going to grab this. Okay, and then I'm going to come out here, and the gradient tool is found right here. I'm going to change that to gradient. Oh, look at it, already changed. How cool. Well, the book wants a certain color. So you come right here, these color palettes, double click on it, little, and they want F, C, 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 C. Hit enter. That's one side. The other side, they want another color. They want B, 86241. These are just color codes based upon HTML colors. You can look those up, all the different color codes that are available. So look at now, watch when I select off, it looks a little bit better. Select on, where'd my color palette go? It's right here. Don't have to worry about it. We are getting there, okay? So we also now, what they want to do is they want to add another color. So we're going to go white in the middle. So I just clicked there. It's all I did. I just clicked there. I'm going to undo that. I clicked right here. Boom. Now I'm going to click on, double click on it, and I'm going to bring up the white. And now if I let go, you see it's starting to transition. We're starting to transition. Select it, deselected right now. Now I've selected it. So we're starting to do a transition. We also, folks, they also want us to select this in here, and for some reason the whole thing is being selected. And it might happen with you too. I think it's because of the parts that we have or the way I did it. Okay, they want you to select this back one and do the exact same thing, but watch what's going to happen because it doesn't just select the back. If I go here, the whole thing's going to go gradient. So I'm not going to actually do that right now. I'm just going to go see if I can find it another way. I don't want that. Let me see something. Let me see if I can undo it to where it was. There we go. I don't think it's going to allow me just to grab that one area. It's because of the way I drew it, and if you have the same problem, guess what? You might have to draw it again. So we're going to go back up to the front, and we're going to add some gradient transformation, and that is found here by clicking here and going across to there. And we are going to take this tool, slide it a little bit, that little white circle. We're going to narrow it together. And you see here, we are starting to get some gradients. You're supposed to do it with this back part too, but I didn't do it because the way I drew it was wrong. It was in the copy and the paste. Keep following on the book. You're going to put a gradient there, and you'll see eventually the big thing is you're going to get to a point where it's done. But you have all these moving parts. Like, what do I do, Mr. Neighbors, with all these moving parts? You got this, you got that, you got everything. Well, what you do is take your selection key. They're going to have you do it on page 56. Select it all. Go to Modify It, and you go to Group. What this allows you to do is move it as one whole object, and you can still edit it by double-clicking on it, but it doesn't allow the parts to get all lost. Okay? What I'm going to do is stop the video here, and I'll do another one for the next part so that you can catch up.